But I am in general very concerned for my children, for the country in the future, because of the rapid acceleration into total and complete corruption.
How scared are you right now?
I am way more scared about the direction the country's going in if they admit this is a formula for everybody. I mean, while the right wing laughs, some of them, and says, oh, it's just Alex Jones, they're on every channel saying we're coming after everybody now with this model. And they've even got the Republican Secretary of State in Texas saying we want to come after Republicans that question election fraud. Give me a break. So you have the rhinos, the neocons, the rabid left allied together against the populist uprising of nationalist Americans who are peacefully trying to take our country back. So I'm way more concerned about nuclear war. I'm way more concerned about financial collapse. I mean, here's a good point, Stephen. Quite frankly, the way inflation's going, the way it accelerates towards Weimar Republic or Zimbabwe, in 10 years, there's such inflation, $1 billion will be like $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, at the current rate we're at here, so
be like pesos.
No, I'm not scared. I am disgusted, and I really feel proud of myself because I've told the truth about this. I've said when I was wrong. They have created this whole synthetic identity for me, the straw man, and then they sat there and had to lie to a jury and suppress the truth and tell them I was guilty and rig this kangaroo court so I myself can hold my head tall. But I am in general very concerned for my children, for the country in the future, because of the rapid acceleration into total and complete corruption.
I know you have some other things you want to hit. I don't even know if we can probably show the clips on YouTube, but Gerald here, I know has a question for you. You can't see him, but he's champing at the bit. Gerald, yeah, please.
Yeah, so you said earlier that this is going to be overturned. Why do you think that it will be overturned? Not that you just have kind of this faith in that that's going to happen, but what are you guys arguing, if you can reveal that to us, on how it's going to be overturned?
Well, that's an excellent question. I have talked to dozens of very well-known constitutional lawyers. I can tell you Norm Pattis is a very well-known, successful lawyer around the country. He's talked to current and former judges in Connecticut and in New York, federal and state, that say this is the most insane craziness they've ever seen. The judge said in open court, I said this months ago because she'd done rules in limine and told us what I couldn't say. She said in court, can't say you're innocent. Can't say you barely ever talked about these people. Can't say you didn't make money off of it. Can't be political, but they could hold up magazines I put out exposing Obama, but then we couldn't respond back to it. She literally tied our hands and did this. So either America's gone and completely done, or in Texas and in Connecticut, if I have the money for the appeals, that's why they want to bankrupt us right now, because they are so scared that if there's any justice left at the Texas or the Connecticut Supreme Court or the U.S. Supreme Court, they've got to overturn this because the deep state, the ambulance chaser brigade are openly saying they're coming after everyone with this, just like when I got censored.
So are you saying that you think the people in the appeals court will see the gravity of it? Is that what you're saying, why you believe it'll be overturned?
I don't know if the fix is in that high, but I know that they've got their pound of flesh, they've demonized me, they brought back up Sandy Hook, they've made a bunch of money for their charities, they got $73 million from Remington. I mean, these dead kids are cash machines for these lawyers, okay? And now nobody knows who Adam Lanza is that killed the kids, they only know Alex Jones. And so, I'm sorry, what was the question, Stephen? I apologize.
No, I think you answered the question. Well, I think Gerald really wants to know, why do you believe it will be overturned? Do you think it's because they wanted to make an example of you, and then when it comes down to the actual constitutional law, it won't hold water? Is that why?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that, well, they have to, or the country's over. I mean, you have to understand, when I say kangaroo court, when I say show trial, I mean, this has never before been done. A default's when you just don't even show up. We gave them everything, exhaustive, and then they let them use the discovery that they said we didn't give them to the jury. They could put on evidence. We couldn't challenge the evidence, and I couldn't testify. That's why I didn't testify when it was time for our, quote, case. It was only a hearing and damages. The judge found me guilty. Again, since when? Well, the judge knows best. They've never done that before. They can't do that. You know, if I was caught bank robbing, or something, and I ran off to another country, then you can have default judgments to say, take my house, because I'm not there. There's video of me robbing the bank. I've left the country. They can sue. They can get the house. That's a default judgment. I was there. I participated. I did the depositions. I had my crew members go there. I spent millions of dollars on lawyers. But because there was no case there, They were forced to default because they decided I was this supervillain and they wanted to set this precedent. So yes, all the lawyers agree that if we file a good appeal with the hundreds of bad things they did, that it must absolutely be either partially or totally overturned. And if it isn't overturned, no, I'm not scared, Stephen, because I've said on air the truth. I have less than $1.5 million in my bank account. Sounds like a lot to the average working guy, and I get it. But with all my bills and crew and all this, that's on empty. My company has less than $1 million in it right now, and that's to buy product and pay payroll and fund our operation. So I never did this to make money. They had all these fake numbers. They had all our finances. They said he made $61 million last year. Our gross was $61 million. I paid myself $200,000 last year. It's all in the bankruptcy court. They know it. They know it's true. Was there a year that I paid myself $12 million? Absolutely. The year of the divorce with my ex-wife 6 years ago, thank God it was the Trump era. For the first time ever, we had all this extra money right when she divorces me. It goes through the process, and the court made me pay her close to $10 million to, quote, buy her out of the company because I've been married to her for 13 years. So the 1 year God came through, the 1 year that because usually I make about $1 million, $2 million a year, but honest with my audience. And after all the bills and stuff and legal crap, it's gone. Of course. Okay, but I don't do it for money. The 1 year I made $12 million, God came through, magically the money came in to then buy my ex-wife out of the company. So again, they think, so it doesn't
Alex,
matter.
Can I point
they
something
can have
out
a
here?
$1 trillion judgment.
I want to say something here that's important because I see you, and we all struggle with this, right? Where you're saying, because I know that people think that sounds like a lot of money, and it's sad that you even have to say, no, you don't do this just for the money, but you absolutely deserve to earn a living if you have millions of people who are listening and the amount of work that you put into it. I understand it. This is what I do here as well. Conservatives are the only ones, surprisingly, the people who support free enterprise, where we feel like because our audience is largely working class, you want to say, look, don't get mad at me because I make this money. Because there's a huge difference between 1 year making $12 million and a several $100 million judgment. You know who makes $12 million every single year? Colbert, Fallon. No one cares. And I just hope that people on the right don't use that as an attack. Well, you know what? Oh, maybe he'll go cry into his millions. That is not the point. And just for some inside baseball, for people who don't necessarily know, I want to corroborate some of what you're saying. Yeah, you can't prove that you didn't make money off of Sandy Hook. Just like I can't prove that I didn't make money off of that the guy who was fired from Vox, who started the Vox apocalypse. Why? Because this enterprise makes the only way that we make profit is people signing up because they want to hear what I have to say. And sometimes what I have to say involves a specific person. Of course, it would be hundreds of thousands of people if you were to look over the course of our entire program. But that gets pulled in and they say, you can't say that you didn't make money off of insert whatever story you covered here. We've had that happen on the website.
Absolutely. Well, let me be clear, Stephen.
Just to give you an example, just really quickly, we've had someone on the website sue because they say, well, this actually, we don't like this article that went up, and we want you to prove that you haven't made money off of it. And it's like, well, that article maybe had a few 100,000 views or something like that. I don't remember. I'm just giving you an example. I don't remember this specific example. And they were trying to say, so you make money. You make money off of this. Your whole company is making money off. No. They don't let you parse it. That's the lie. Because you were broadcasting, and the broadcast always makes money, and even when you were covering Sandy Hook. That's why they say, if you can't prove the separation of all the streams or any potential revenue generated while you were discussing the Sandy Hook issue, then you can't say that you didn't profit off of Sandy Hook. That's the argument. People need to understand it because we all struggle with it as business owners.
I totally agree, and I couldn't say it better. In fact, when you said it better. And this is the most important point I'm going to make here, and I got a few documents if I can show them to you that are really important that tie this all together. This is a major project for 6 years, 2 years before they sued me, and then now the last 4, with literally hundreds of articles a week, sometimes thousands. Every major news channel from HBO to PBS to Fox even attacking me over Sandy Hook and building it up into this giant controversy when I was not the Sandy Hook man to set the precedent with the Alex Jones precedent to shut everybody else down. Now let's talk about this being the biggest defamation judgment in U.S. history by an order of at least 10 magnitude. If I can have an overhead shot here. Damn, I wish the survivors of Epstein received $965 million. Exactly. Good point on Twitter, Eliza. Think about that real quick.
Why the
We
triangles?
still don't know the names. Exactly. We still don't know. We still don't know the names of the Johns. Here's another good point. Purdue Pharma, that knew OxyContin would addict people and kill them by the thousands, have to pay $634.5 million on the 10+ billion they made profit in the OxyContin case. Alex Jones killed no one, ordered to pay $965 million for Sandy Hook lies.
And I don't think anyone is blowing somebody in an alley because of their addiction to colloidal silver.
Absolutely, they're not. Here's another one. The largest fine paid by a banking executive responsible for the 2008 financial crisis was $67.5 million. Jury says Alex Jones pays $965 million. Here's another one. Yes, from a lawyer, Viva Fry. Yes, except for O.J. was found guilty of the actual deaths of 2 victims after a trial. That was a civil trial. Whereas Alex Jones was found guilty of making false statements about people who were murdered by someone else without a trial. So O.J. pays $33.5 million. I pay $900+ million, and it goes on and on.
OJ was
so
innocent.
what's going to happen? Absolutely, he was found innocent by the criminal, but guilty by the civil. So when are they going to sue MSNBC for some of the lies that were done? I want $1 million. My feelings are hurt by their lies, and it just goes on from there. But those are some really important points.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.